Alright, so these are the trading cards. We actually have, I want to say maybe like 98, 99% of them. And let's see if I can take them out. Yeah, so for instance, four-sided triangle with Patricia Arquette. So it actually asks you a question, and then it gives you the answer. So it actually has some trivia to it. And like this one, split personality. You know, it asks like, what did the twin sisters use on Joe Pesci to split him in half? A chainsaw. So spoiler alert. I'll go ahead and put these back. And there were some that have the Tales from the Crypt covers to them. You know, so this will actually tell you what stories are in them, and you know when they were published and the issue and whatnot. Let's see. Go ahead and put these back. Like I said, these my older brother and I have had these since 1994, approximately, when Drug Emporium was still around, and they would sell them right where the cashiers were. So then, these are some of the reprints. This we didn't really focus on. We didn't get into, but this is another EC comic, weird science, weird fantasy. There are some actually good stories in this. Like they're not horror, and most of them don't have like twist endings. A few of them do. So for instance, Lower Birth. That's the one with That's actually the birth of the Crypt Keeper. That's actually in season 2. Let's see. This is Till Death. That's another episode right there. Yeah, this, like I said, this was a gift from my older brother and his wife. So, for instance, speaking of Ray Bradbury, this is actually a story. This is actually based on one of his stories. The October Game.
Because he did like over 20, right?
Something like that, yeah.
They converted like over 20 of his short stories to...
Yeah, and like I said, Carrie and Death, that's the one with Kyle MacLachlan, where the guy gets handcuffed to the cop, and he's walking through the desert and the vultures chasing him.
Kills him.
Yeah. In this one, it's actually several vultures. But
is that the one that gets his eye pecked out?
Yeah, he gets paralyzed at the end, and then he gets his eyes pecked out. So yeah, it's similar to the comic itself. It's similar to the episode. But I don't think. Let's see. I don't think he gets paralyzed though. I think he's just essentially dying of dehydration. Then the vultures start eating him.
We should get a shot of our decor over here.
Yeah. So, like I said, this is a gift from my older brother and his wife. So, the new arrival. That's actually the one in season 4. The ignore it. The child psychologist one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that one. My older brother actually has the EC library, at least the horror ones and the shock suspense stories and stuff like that. But I think he has the entire EC library, like on his phone or like on his computer. I prefer to actually have it hard copy. Like
we should have had him as our guest speaker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but he works around the Austin area. This is actually a coffee table book. It's the history of EC Comics and the television series. So it really gets... See, that's Bill Gaines right there.
Creator.
Mm-hmm. So it talks about comics, and then it talks about EC Comics, and you actually see... Actually,
Is
see
it
some of the
this
stories.
is the original Crypt Keeper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the original Crypt Keeper. You know, so you have Hunt of Fear, crime suspense stories, shock suspense stories. So it talks about escape, so that's the one that's in
This
there.
is right here. This is a picture. This is mainly all the titles of the old EC comic strips, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it was very popular, these were the main titles to it. The one thing I didn't mention was the Two-Fisted Tales, like the pilot, hosted by William Sadler. That never got picked up to series on HBO, although it did. The episodes were integrated into the series itself. Showdown and King of the Road. Yeah, and then let's see, go to the episodes.
Oh, look, there's a picture of Matt. Pastor.
The Kefauver hearings. So these are all the issues of the horror and shock. There's actually some of the stories. This is actually a great book, like I said. Now it's getting into the actual. It's actually getting into the series itself. And the cool thing about this book is that, and it shows all the celebrities that came out in it. See, where's the? Oh yeah, that's the split personality. They used an axe to cut the main character in half. As opposed to a chainsaw. A chainsaw would have been quick.
That's the Joe Pesci episode.
Yeah, they used an axe. So who knows how long that took? Yeah.
Look, gotta go back.
That's Cheech Marine.
No, it was Mr. Chumley.
Yeah, it's Chumley right there.
Mr. Chumley.
Yeah. And actually, the episode Forever Ambergris, depending on how you pronounce it, with Steve Buscemi.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you a while ago, that's the one that really kind of.
Oh, there was a picture here with Bill Gaines with Richard Donner and Robert Zemeckis and all the producers of the TV show.
Yeah, the executive producers. And
Bill Gaines, the creator of the Tales from the Crypt comic, right there.
yeah, and what was I talking about? I lost my train of thought.
No, we're just talking about episodes.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it actually goes by season, and it has a picture of each episode. So season 2. I like this one also, for crying out loud. That's the one where the guy keeps hearing his conscience, played by Sam Kinison. So it's just shouting. Yeah. Yellow. I like this one too, Undertaking Paler. Where the kids with the video cameras.
Yeah.
And the they find out that the Undertaker and the pharmacist are in cahoots, and there's Joe Pesci getting split in half with a chainsaw.
Yeah, so if you're a hardcore fan, this is like the book to have.
Oh yeah, Tim Curry. Yeah, that's Steve Buscemi. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was talking about. This episode is the one where HBO was like, okay, that was a bit too much. HBO of all things actually said that.
Well, there's the Till Death
Stamos.
Do We Part.
Huh?
The
Yeah.
Till Death Do We Part.
No, Till Death Do We Part. That's what it is.
The Stamos
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. So Till Death Do We Part. That's the title. I keep thinking Till Death Do You Part. But Came the Dawn. That's the one with Brooke Shields.
Because everybody came out in this show.
Yeah. I actually, Well Cooked Hams, I actually really like that episode too. It's one of the underrated episodes. I'm not getting into it's about. It's a magician that steals another magician's act. And of course, hilarity ensues. 99 and 44th, 100% pure horror. That's the one. That's the soap one.
Yeah. So you were right.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the season 7 ones. I would say, if anything, if I would say Report from the Grave was okay. It wasn't too enthralling, but it was one of the sadder ones. Horror in the Night is actually one of the good ones of season 7. Daniel Craig actually comes on an episode. Ewan McGregor comes on an actual episode. Eddie Izzard comes on an episode. This is actually one of the good ones too. So yeah, there's a couple of gems in this pile of season 7 shit.
James Bond and Obi-Wan Kenobi came out.
And that's the last episode.
Oh, the cartoon.
Episode 93. Yeah, the third pig.
The cartoon one that we mentioned.
Yeah, and then it's going into the movies.
Demon Knight.
Great
movie. Which I do want to get around to reviewing.
Yeah.
All the way. This is
Bordello of Blood.
That's the Shout Factory re-release of Demon Knight on Blu-ray. Great.
I don't remember which year Ritual came out in, but this is later. This is way after the book was already published. And then Tales from the Crypt Keeper. So this is the cartoon.
That was another good shot of all the classic EC comic strips.
Yeah. Yeah, Jolting Tales of Tension. And then getting into...
Look at that. That's a good shot right there. Is that a bust of the Crypt Keeper?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, we could have had that for our decor.
Yeah, and then... Yeah, I think I had one or two of the VHS. I remember I had the Zemeckis collection.
Looks familiar.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. What do you call it? I think the soundtrack might be here somewhere. But yeah, there was a lot of swag. There was a lot of merch.
That's a lot of the memorabilia there.
Yeah, that's a lot of the merch that came out with it too. That was in Peter Piper Pizza. I swear to God that was there. I remember seeing it there. I played it.
You know, I think I also remember that. I remember seeing that in places in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's Bill Gaines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he died in 92, and that was when the show was really getting like popular.
Yeah.
Especially in the early 90s.
That was the creator of Tales from the Crypt.
Mm-hmm. And then later Mad Magazine. So yeah, so this is the compendium. Like I said, if you're a big fan, I highly recommend you get it. I don't know if it's still in print. And these are just a few more of the reprints that I have. The skull belongs to Damien and his wife, so that's something else.
Season 1 and 2 on DVD.
Yeah,
So
I swear I will find the other seasons. I swear I'll find my collection, damn it. And of course these are more, like I said, they're a little worse for wear. Most of these are over 20 years old. So, yeah, they've seen...
And those are reprints?
Yeah, these are reprints. No, if these were originals, these would be like in a vault somewhere. Yeah. I would not have them come to that in terms of the originals. I mean, like I said, at the time it was $250. Yeah, to buy. So these were pretty cheap. Well, as a kid in the early 90s.
No.
Well, as a kid in the 90s, no. It was actually...
That was like $5-6 now.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'll go ahead and take that back. So $250 in 93, 94, you know, trying to convince your parents to shell out money. You know. It was like $250, that's a lot of money.